Evening all, and welcome to Reality Sucks, so we refuse to believe in it and substitute our own for another week. Sorry about me being away. If you follow my main channel, you know why. I just didn't feel up to things, really. So I'm a little off my stride this week, but we'll see how things go. Right. If you remember, you had negotiated your way through the mountains of Brack, and we may get a couple of other players turn up late, by the way. But you'd negotiated your ways through the mountains of Brack and had emerged from the other side. I shall recap from there, and then we shall proceed. So, you emerge onto a wide, snow-swept ridge, commanding a spectacular view of the valleys and chasms stretching off to the north of the mountains of Brack. The grisly sight in front of you interrupts the view. Two poles, wrapped in a cocoon of ice, stand immediately in front of the doors. In each of them you see the bronze armour of one of the legionaries, still encasing their forlorn remains. Both stare out from shrivelled skulls, grinning in the desperate rictus of death. You see that one of them still carries a legion baton in his skeletal hand, which you already half-inched. From there you moved around onto a ledge that overlooks the lands beyond. The view stretches from here over a few intervening foothills, down to a windswept frozen lake, where will-o'-wisp ice particles dance upon the surface. In the distance is a low, squat building made of black granite, which must be the one you've heard spoken of in the ancient tales. A long, sloping ledge traverses the mountainside to your left, zigzagging down to the lake's surface. To the right, a short, rubble-strewn path leads to a squat granite structure, the roof of which barely protrudes from the vast bank of snow in which it is buried. The entrance to the building is just around the corner from the ledge on which you stand. So this building, this place, whatever it is, this hall, stands between you and the path onwards to the Temple of Balor. So how do you wish to proceed?
Explain what's blocking our path again. I completely missed
so there's a long path winding its way down, sort of zigzagging down the slope, down to a lake. But to the right of you, sort of squatting on the path, is a squat granite structure, the roof of which barely protruding from the snow in which it's buried. So it's almost like that's a guard post on the road on the way down to Balor's temple.
Gotcha.
And we were looking for a frozen lake, were we not? Did I
Yep.
misremember that?
No, that's right. That's right.
So we could go straight down or check out this guard post.
Yeah, whatever's out here is probably what did for the Legionnaires, or something that did for the Legionnaires in times past, so you possibly don't want that behind you.
Fair enough.
I see no reason why we shouldn't investigate. Could be something of value in there.
Okay.
Oh, I got a new friend. Did you see my new friend?
No.
It's a large eagle.
Yes, as you emerged from the mountains, you called out to eagles that you saw circling overhead, and one of them was befriended by this new magic power you were given.
Wow, so how big is this eagle?
Big enough to carry a man.
Or in your case, a woman.
That's big.
That's big. So most of the time he'll just kind of circle overhead, but
Yeah.
might be useful in any outdoor battles.
Do you have a name for this beast, Becca?
Yes, it does have a name. It's Ukokokta.
Did you say that without copying these?
Ukokokta.
Looks like a scorn to me, actually, or tribe. But with the copter sounds fine.
Yes. Ukukopka.
What's your elk called?
Dave.
I thought it was Bob.
No,
I thought it was Bob.
no, my
So,
elk is
No, Bob.
my elk is called Shirley Torvey,
Okay.
and he'll mess you up. So don't. Sorry,
No.
he'll
No,
mess you
no,
up.
no, no.
Don't
No,
mess
no,
with the
no,
elk.
no. I have got nothing against animals. It's just every time I see you, you always get a new pet. So what's next? Polecat, ferret, skunk, weasel, stoat.
dire head lice.
What is What is one?
Okay.
I think we should venture down to this outpost.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
unsheeping with the twins of evil, just to be on the safe side.
Doron seems a little unsettled that all of these legends are true, and so is carrying his sword at the ready at all times, despite the cold out here.
Oh yes, I seem to remember that your blade can dig in its scabbard if you leave it for too long in the cold.
Especially if you don't clean it. Right. Okay. So
Oh.
you follow the
Not my
path.
friend.
You follow the path down and around. Bounding the corner of the ledge, the path drops suddenly, and you see the front of a large grey granite hall with two convoluted pillars holding up a primitive arch over a doorway. The arch is 3 meters high. Steep banks of snow cover the path leading up to the entranceway. Beyond it is a stone vestibule filled with snowdrifts. At the far end, you can see a sheet of ice completely blocking off the far wall, and there are no footprints in the snow, but a lot of it is fresh fall. The pillars are sort of twisted around like it's a two-headed serpent, with one head at the bottom forming the foot of the pillar and another head at the top.
Yeah. Explain the pillar again.
So
I'm sorry.
You follow the ledge around, right, and then it comes up to where this massive stone hall that seems buried in snow is. There's an archway for an entrance. The arch at the top is held up by two pillars. Each pillar is the shape of a two-headed snake coiled around to form the column, with a head at the foot and a head at the top. And through this entrance, through this stone vestibule, there's a sheet of ice blocking the way onwards.
Okay, so I better use my tool for this. Yeah, the enchanted battle axe, and let's break through the ice.
Okay. So you saunter through up to the sheet of ice and start hacking at it.
Well, we don't have anything else more suitable, do we? I think
No picks or no magicians present again. Just when they'd be useful.
the battle axe is more effective than the sword.
You would say that because you are a battle axe. Okay.
No, she's a badass. She's a badass, not a battle axe. A badass.
So with the others standing guard and Doron standing guard, you start to hack away at the ice. Okay. It's slow going to start with. The ice is incredibly hard, but you do manage to start chipping away, and then it starts to come away in chunks. As one sort of last blow sends cracks darting through the wall of ice, and it crumbles away with a thunderous roar. Several large dogs appear in the room, coming through several entrances beyond. There's this big hexagonal room beyond the ice, and these gigantic hounds, each as tall as a man. They remind you of hellhounds, but their breath is coming out in puffs of steam, and specks of it are falling as snow as they breathe.
Ice hounds.
Ice hounds, yes. So I'm going to need your reflexes scores. So Becca's reflexes is 13, if I remember correctly. And Cesora and Elaine 16.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what's these things? Less. Okay. Right, so as the ice shatters, these 6 enormous great hounds pound across the frozen floor towards you, across the gigantic 6-sided room. Cesora, you're first.
I'll take the first 2 on the first and second left.
Okay. So you move to intercept them, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, do you want to make an attack on one of them then, or both, or whatever?
I am doing what I used to do, in with one and out with the other.
Okay, so your defense is increased by 2. Their
Yep.
defense is 3, so take that away from your attack and roll.
4.
Okay. Roll damage, don't need to worry about armor.
That would be 8.
8. Okay.
Yep.
Right, so you step up to meet the first 2, and as one comes charging up to you, you step around it, drive your blade into its side. Its blood sort of freezes instantly that it gets in contact with the air, and the cold runs through the blade and numbs your hand, but you manage to keep hold of it and pull it free. It's cut.
Well, I am wearing gloves. I am wearing gloves.
Yeah, it's cut, but it's still going. Mittens tied onto your sleeves, or?
No, just gloves.
Yeah, with some cat guts, yeah.
Yeah. Right, Elaine.
Yeah, I'm going to charge boldly ahead towards one of them.
Okay.
Just the closest one.
All right. Yep. So you raise your sword and move in to engage. Right. Its defense is 3, so roll to hit.
I strike true.
And damage.
A glancing blow, but it's a magical sword, so it does 6 damage total.
Okay. It is a glancing blow, but your magical blade seems to sear its flesh because these are other magical creatures of their own kind. It almost seems grievously burned by the sword, but is still capable of moving. Okay, Becca.
Yes, as you rush in, with a battle axe.
Mm-hmm.
13, I think there should be a hit.
Their defense is only 3, so I'm pretty sure
Yep.
that is. Okay, and damage.
This is a grievous weapon. Oh dear. Not this time. They must have slipped, or it's just 6 hits.
6 hits. Okay. Right. So you charge to meet one that's coming in from the other side so that they don't flank any of you. You drive your axe blade into it, and it's like striking the ice again. It just sort of impacts into it with a sort of chunk noise and seems to chip part of its flesh out. It's like a frozen side of reindeer left in the snow. Right. Doron moves up with Becca to occupy the beasts on that side. And drives the point of his blade into the chest of one of these great big dogs and sort of sliding backwards along the floor trying to get a grip with his boots. Alright, and then it's the hounds. Okay, what's Cesaura's defense?
12.
12. What is... Sorry, you have to split between 2 of them, so what, 6 on each?
Yep.
Okay. Neither of them managed to hit you. Elaine's going to have to split his defense 2 ways as well.
Okay.
So-
I'll split it as evenly as I can. 8 and 7. Wait, no.
No? Are you remembering your magic weapon bonus?
Yeah, I've got +3, haven't I?
Yeah.
Maths! 9 and 9.
It's addition and division. It's pretty easy. 9 and 9. Okay. Right, you're not hit. Doran is not hit. What's Becca's defense?
How many on we just one?
Yeah, just the one.
Full defense is 23.
There's no real chance of hitting you whatsoever. Okay, unless he gets a crit. No. So they're sort of pounding around, leaping all over you. The ones that are teamed up on you or get close a couple of times, but don't manage to land any decent hits with their jaws. They're pretty wary of the huge magical arsenal that you're all carrying. Right. So, new turn. Sizora.
Same as before.
Okay.
Stab the one power over there.
Do you want to try and finish off the wounded one?
Yep.
Okay. Right, its defense is still 3, so roll.
5.
5. Okay. Well, that's probably a hit, isn't it? Roll damage.
8.
8.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, you strike again at the same place you wounded it before, and this time managed to work the blade in deeper and hurt it. It howls once and falls still.
Does it feel like I'm actually hitting snow or actual
It
flesh?
feels like you're hitting pack ice.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like they're made of compacted snow.
Oh,
Almost.
talk about frostbite, eh?
Yes, very good. Right, Elaine. Jack?
I was muted. Okay, I have to roll under my attack.
Minus
Take away
3.
3. Is that
Yep.
okay? I did a nice, like descriptive flourish to that. So before, but I'm going to now.
We'll take your word for it.
Yes, I hit, but barely.
Okay. And damage? Were you going for the one you already wounded or the other one?
Yes, the one I already wounded.
Okay.
Seven points total.
Right. That's enough. Alright, you drive your blade for a second time, this time downwards, onto the wounded beast, and hack a good 3/4 of the way through its icy neck. And it just collapses flat in front of you. Becca.
Okay, I should try to destroy the one that I wounded before. So, so sometimes I wind up now.
Yep.
Oh,
20? Fail?
that one.
Oh. That sounded bad. Okay, so roll damage twice.
Well, I'm disappointed because it was a wounded one and not a fresh one. God, yes, that's not great either. So that's 6, 8, 12 damage with a critical.
That's good enough. Right. Yeah, you swing your axe into the wounded beast, and it explodes into fragments of frozen meat in all directions. You shattered the thing. Right.
Is it fibrous inside, or is it just all completely ice?
It's like frozen meat. It's like a hunk of meat that's been left, out to freeze solid.
Weird.
Doron moves around the beast that he's sort of fencing with and lands a couple of good blows with his sword, weakening and staggering it, but it's still coming. Right, the remaining hounds. Right, one on Caesura. What's his defense? So
12.
one of them. 12, okay. And Elaine, and Doron, and Becca doesn't have one attacking here at the moment. Okay. Yeah, they can't get an angle to come in at you without taking wounds. They just end up sort of running around in circles, nipping at your heels without ever landing a decent blow. New turn, Caesura.
How many is sizing me up?
Well, there's 3 left total. There's one on you, one on Elaine, one on Doron.
Right, I'll attack my one.
Okay.
Throw attack.
So 2 rolls to hit.
Plus
Gets its
1,
defensive
5.
3 against both.
Yep. Plus 1, 5. And second attack. 1. Yay! Crit. Yay!
Okay. So roll damage and then roll twice for the critical damage.
First damage 7.
Yep.
And now for the critical damage, is that twice, yeah?
Yep.
Right, first one 7 again, and second one 6.
Okay. So you drive both blades into it several times, just sort of stabbing and stabbing and stabbing, like you're breaking up ice with an ice pick, and eventually it shatters into pieces.
Dog treats! Yay!
Elaine.
Once again, I'll turn to the one that still remains and to drive my sword through it.
Okay. Roll to hit at -3.
And I hit.
Okay, and damage.
Oh, doing 11 damage.
Nice. But that was a tough one. Right. You smash down on it with a mighty blow that probably would have killed any of the other dogs, but this one seems slightly bigger, slightly denser than the others. So you carve a chunk off its side, but it's still coming. Becca's go. There's one on Doron and one on Elaine.
Okay, I'll move to protect Doron.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll adjust my footing, swing low, and try and hit it in the flank.
Okay, go for it.
5. That's a hit.
Damage.
Five hits.
Okay. Right, you swing out and cleave off part of one of its front paws. It's limping, but still coming. Doron moves to finish it off. And strikes a mighty decapitating blow upon the beast. Leaving just one remaining.
Pack out.
Right. That dog turns and retreats. And as you watch it retreat, several sort of staves attached to the walls flare into life with a cold blue light. In that light, you can see a frozen pool in the center of this big hexagonal chamber, and a bunch of doors heading off from this hexagonal chamber in all directions. All the ones you'd think would come off a 6-sided room, plus the one that you've come in from, which came in from one corner. At the far end of the room, there are steps up to a dais where there's a stone table and a pair of great stone thrones, upon which are sat a pair of gigantic humanoid-looking beings with blue skin, hair white as snow. And as you watch, they're stirring to life from the howling and barking of the hounds and picking themselves up onto their feet.
How many of them?
2.
Oh. Ugh. We can take them. Ready
Yeah,
yourselves.
Right. I'll unsheath the Twins of Evil and sheath my new shiny sword, Jim.
Okay, that'll be your go. So hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Right.
What do these look like? Jotun. They're Jotun, aren't they?
Indeed they do. Frost giants, who you have heard of in the tales of your people.
Oh, you're braver than I thought, Sir Elaine. We're going to take on 2 Jotun. Will be. This is worthy of song. This is.
Song and story, my lady.
You've seen these things before?
Oh, well, no. My grandmother told me about them in at bedtime as stories.
She did indeed, and you recall, though it's probably not a good idea, frost giants are fairly honourable, and they almost never back down from a personal duel. But then again, they are huge. And very dangerous.
Yeah, I think if we're going to fight them, I wouldn't recommend one-on-one.
Right,
How about
so
4-2?
Cesora, you switch to your other sword, yeah?
Yep, my new shiny sword, my big one.
What does Elaine wish to do?
I'm just gonna, same as always, ready my sword and shield.
Okay.
I sort of say to Becca that, did your grandmother say that they had any weaknesses? Perhaps fire?
Yeah, that a weakness to Asgard gods. Are you a god of Asgard, Sir Elaine?
Not.
No. But seeing them change weapons, I'll do the same. I'm going to stow the axe and get my claymore out.
Okay.
I was gonna suggest, why don't you take my two-handed sword?
Or the elemental sword.
Yeah, it changes to the most damaging element after you hit once.
Well, that could be interesting, yeah. So this is a bizarre scene. We're discussing which weapons to use in the Jotun Hall as they're watching us.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of time, so decide quickly.
I know, that's why I was trying to be quick.
Yeah.
Just sort of like mention it.
Yep. Well, I'll take the elemental sword. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's slung around my back, and you can just pull it out of its giant
Yep.
sheath.
Yeah, I'll just drop the axe on the ground and grab the elemental sword.
Yeah. Okay, so you've all swapped weapons. Doran's stuck with the same one, so he sort of waits. The Hound comes charging back again, this time towards Doron, and the giants stride across the room with surprising speed to the attack.
Are you sure they're not sliding to us?
The ground shakes and shudders with the sheer impact of their passing. Elaine, one of the giants and the Hound are both attacking you. So how do you wish to divide your defense?
I think I'm going to put like a ton more onto the Jotun than I am going to onto the Hound. Probably, let's say 14 onto the Jotun, 4 onto the Hound.
Give me a sec. Sorry, that other player, I think we got our times muddled. Right. Sorry, I completely lost track of what you're saying because I was trying to get that player on board.
I had 14 onto the Jotun, 4 onto the Hound.
Okay, 14 onto the Jotun. He still hits you, and 4 onto the Hound, which doesn't hit you. Yeah, so the Hound pounds around the outside of you, nipping and biting, you sort of ward it off with your shield and turn to the giant to be ready for the incoming attack. Just the sheer reach on the thing is horrendous. So there was nothing you could really do to avoid the attack. Right, so he hurls this enormous net onto you, and just the weight of the rope is enough to pin you down and hold you still. So you're pinned under the net for now.
Oh.
Which sucks, for obvious reasons. Right.
Is it only direct attacks that I get to use my shield on?
Yeah, it wouldn't help against the net. That kind of
okay.
drape over you anyway. If it was another weapon, you'd still get your shield. Right. The female frost giant seems to pick Becca out of the bunch as to be the person to attack. Raises her enormous ice axe and swings it down hard. What's Becca's defense?
Her new defense was +2. Yeah, it's 15.
15. Right. You deftly sweep to one side, and the enormous axe just smashes into the ground and rebounds off it with a sound like you're on the inside of a bell.
Ouch.
The female frost giant grunts in dissatisfaction at this state of affairs. Right. So, new turn. Caesura.
I'm going to attack the ankle of the bitch who used the battle axe. And I'm not talking about that.
Okay, right, so you charge up to her from the side, going for her leg. Take 4 away from your attack and roll.
6.
Okay, roll to penetrate armor.
Ooh, that's comfy. 11.
Okay, and roll damage.
Big fat 10.
Okay. You drive your tiny little blades into her ankle.
Tiny little blade. Tiny
Yeah.
little blade. It's new things I found.
But she screams in pain as the magic steel bites deep, and twists her head to cast an evil glare in your direction.
I'll just smile at her back. You know me in a mask.
Elaine, you are currently pinned under a giant net.
I'm going to try and get the net off of me.
What method are you going to use to try and get the net off you?
I'm going to try to lift it up as high as I can and then roll out from underneath it.
Is it like a proper cable?
It's like a heavy ship rope, like inches around. Halve your strength and roll under it on a d20. Rounding up.
1 sec. Lost my sheet. Oh, there it is. My strength is 15. No, wait, that's my stealth. Strength is 12, so I got around it.
You're going to sneak your way out. Your strength is 12. So
I did it. I rolled a 3.
Okay. Right. Yeah, you extricate yourself from underneath the net. Right, hold up, guys. I'm going to try and get this other player in. He got his times mixed up.
Time zone difference.
Yeah, it's a bitch, especially during summertime, and it's all
Yeah.
Time piece.
I tried to solve that problem by using UTC rather than GMT, BST. Trying to get especially Americans to use anything that's not Eastern Standard, Pacific, or Mountain Time is a nightmare. So like. UTC is Universal Coordinated Time.
Isn't that just Greenwich time anyway?
Yes, coincidentally. It's not Greenwich time though. I mean, it wasn't started by Greenwich. So.
Well, it is, yeah, but we're +1, aren't we? So
Yeah.
Yeah, at the moment we UTC +1.
Just to be extra annoying.
I'm hoping this elemental sword to turn into some sort of lightsaber any minute now, and
Have you struck something with it?
not yet. No.
No.
Yeah.
Is that the trigger?
Yeah,
you gotta-
once you hit something
Yeah.
with it, it changes element to match whatever does the most harm.
You don't have to draw blood as well. We've ascertained it just has to connect. So it can deflect off of armor and still trigger.
Because it's magic. The
'Cause it's
magic
magic.
don't gotta explain shit. Okay, well, let's finish this turn while they're coming. Okay, so Elaine got out from under the net. Becca's go.
Yeah. So the female Jotun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
The one
wade in.
with the stabbed ankles
Fine.
Yeah. Wade in with this
with the
with the
elemental
elemental
sword.
sword.
Yeah. Okay. Take
Alright.
4 away from your attack and roll to hit.
Oh god, I think I've missed. Let's see. I rolled a 19, and that's a hit. Can you believe that?
Because your
How?
attack is obscene now.
How awesome is Becca?
Yeah.
You just have
Okay.
a really high attack.
Roll to penetrate armor.
11.
Okay, well, yes, obviously. And damage. It doesn't get any bonuses or anything other than its innate magical bonus at this point, so just rolls up damage straight.
8.
8.
Ouch.
Yeah. You give her a nasty gash across the calf muscle, and the sword blazes into flame. Doron moves to engage the male giant, but his flailing sword just goes doink off the giant's shin. Right. The
Hooray,
hound,
flaming sword.
That-
I'm impressed.
the hound attempts to savage Elaine as he clambers out from under the net, but fails to connect a decent blow. Just sort of breaks a couple of teeth on your armor. The male giant tries to stab you with his trident before you can get out from under the net. What's half your defense?
Half my defense is 9.
Right. You dragging yourself out from under the net, try to tumble free, but he catches you with one of the prongs of his trident. What's your armor rating?
My armor rating is 6.
6. Right, it just goes ka-tang off your magical plate mail and fails to penetrate, which is extremely lucky. Right. The female giant brings her axe in a great broad sweep, aiming for Caesura. What's Caesura's defense?
10.
Thou art struck. What's your armor rating?
2.
Cleaves through the armor. Take 14 hit points of damage from the blade.
Question,
Ouch.
have I managed to heal, or am I at minus whatever from last time?
You're at whatever you were at.
What was that? Can anyone remember what was that?
No.
You had healed up some.
Yeah.
So I don't know that you'd taken any damage since you had to use that onk to
Resurrect
regenerate.
myself, yeah.
So
Yeah, so I'm at 1 health. Because you said I've just taken 14, so I'm on 1
yeah,
health.
yeah. So you're
Yeah, you
smashed
did-
by the axe blade, picked up off the ground, and slid across the room with a huge gash across your chest.
Basically treated like a ragdoll.
Yeah. You're a fine example of ragdoll physics, except you don't get stuck in mid-air juddering around. which always seems to happen.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's going to leave a mark.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that's everything's gone. Right. New turn. Caesora's go.
Since I'm at the other side of the room,
Yep.
she's gonna have to come to me, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna chuck a flashbang in her face and shout "fire in the hole."
How far can you throw a flashbang?
Ooh, probably.
Well, first of all, how far away is she from?
This room is about 40 meters across, so she's about 20 meters away from you.
Right, fuck that. Snap, crackle, and pop. I'm gonna point my ring at her.
Okay.
I'm gonna do my.
That sounds like a
smite.
good idea.
It sounds like you're mooning her, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm
you're
gonna
not.
smite her with my ring of doom.
Still sounds like you're bearing your ass. Right, so Caesora's magic ring. Right, Ring of Agonizing Doom.
Yeah.
Expend a charge.
Yep.
Speed 12 versus her evasion. Does she dodge? No. In fact, you got a crit. Roll 4d8. Take away 4.
48. Take away 4.
Yeah.
First one, 7. Second one, 6. Third one, 4. And third one, 4 again. So that's 4 and 4.
So that's 21.
8 minus 4, that's 17.
Yeah.
You know, that was a good use of a doom.
Aim for her head.
Yeah.
Just point my finger at her head and just go snap. Hadouken.
Okay. Bolts of crackling green energy shoot out of the ring as you're sort of trying to scoop your guts back into your chest cavity. And crackle and burn around her head, setting fire to her hair, melting her features until she pitches forward with a loud slam into the ground, which makes everyone sort of jump about a foot into the air. Elaine.
With the Jotun's arm extended after trying to hit me with his trident, I'll run towards him and try and drag my sword from his wrist to his forearm.
Okay. Right. Take 4 away from your attack and roll.
I hit.
Okay. And roll armor penetration.
11.
Yep, and damage.
7.
Okay. Right, yeah. You dig your blade into his wrist and sort of drag it up his arm, cutting through muscle, but failing to really hit any veins or anything beneath. His blood is dark blue. Right, Becca's go. Oh, hang on.
Oh, John's here.
All right, John, can you hear us?
Hi, folks. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hello.
Did you pick
Hi,
out?
everybody.
Did you pick out a character you wanted?
I'll take any character that's needed for the group. I was playing Caradan earlier.
Magic person, please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If you've got the character sheets open, you can play Caradan from here on out. I think that's the character most different people have played, actually.
Yeah, it's quite funny.
It's because we always need a mage. Yeah. So reflexes is 10, just so we know. Okay. Okay. Have you been following along? Do you know what's going on?
Just for the past moment or two, don't interrupt the current scene for me. When you come to a refresh point or a natural insertion point, I'll pop in. I'll just listen until then.
Okay. Right, so Becca's go then.
Okay, so is a female Jotun
Yeah.
dead?
She's dead. Yeah, with a smoking hole where her face used to be.
Right, so can I swing around and hit the male in the backside?
Yes, he's kind of semi crouched where he's been stabbing at Elaine with his trident. So yeah, you can come up behind him.
Right, does this sword trigger jet, or is it doing anything weird?
It's still on full flame mode. So.
Oh, it's on fire now, is it? It's burning.
Yeah. So take 4 away from your attack and roll.
15, that's a hit.
Roll armor penetration.
10.
Okay, and roll damage twice.
Ouch. Ouch. Whew. Wait for it, lads. Right, so Becca brings his flaming sword down onto the exposed Jotun's back for 21 points of damage.
Obscene. Okay, the sword flares even hotter, and the flames sort of leaping around it and lighting up the whole room as you swing it down into the giant's back. And the flames seem to sort of explode on contact and spread fire up and down his back, down onto his legs. He howls in pain. His flesh is charred. Some of it looks like it's melting and sort of dripping away. So you've cut away a big chunk of his muscle mass. He's still barely holding to life.
Wow, I like this sword, Elaine.
Doron charges in to attack him, and he sort of wards him off with one hand. The hound comes to its master's aid, attacking Becca. But given your defense, it's unlikely to hit you. Yeah. It gets as close as it dares, and then the fire starts to singe its whiskers, and it pulls back again. Alright, and then the male giant. He howls in anger at what's happened to his missus, and drives the trident down for a second time against Elaine. What's Elaine's defense?
My defense total is 18.
Well, I don't have telepathy. You need to tell me. You need to tell me. I don't have telepathy.
You might want to mute your mic.
No, you didn't.
You might.
You may have thought you did.
John, you might want to mute your mic.
Sorry, gentlemen.
It's all right. More worried about you. Right. So stabs down with the trident, smashes into the floor, and misses you. New turn, Cesora.
Oh, I feel like shit. How much badly damaged does the last giant look?
Like one more solid blow would probably finish him off.
Oh, click my fingers and point it at him and say everything again. Head again.
So with the ring of agonizing doom for a second turn.
Yeah, give him a headache.
Right. 1 second. Your character sheet. Okay, so another charge. Okay, this time he's kind of got half an eye on you. He twists his head to the side at the last moment, and the sparks of energy slam into the opposite wall and break off a few tiles. So it missed. Elaine's go.
Aha! With him distracted, having to, twist his head to avoid that ray of dark energy, I'll slash at his neck.
Okay. Take 4 away from your attack and roll.
I hit.
Roll armor penetration.
Nope. I roll a 4.
In total.
Yep. Total.
Yeah. Okay, so you slash out at his neck where he's sort of hunched over, desperately trying to stab you over and over again. But it hits the kind of gigantic furs and leathery stuff that he's wearing. Gets sort of tangled up in it, cutting a gash in his armor but not penetrating his flesh. Becca's go.
Okay. Was it? He's not even turned to face me. I nearly cut him in half, and he said,
Yeah.
I say, Jotun, I am Becca Aiku Khan, daughter of Sith.
Whoops.
Die now. I'll just run him through.
Okay. Make your attack roll at -4.
12 as a hit.
Armor penetration.
6.
Yep. And damage. Twice.
Oh, that's only 11 this time.
Oh, yes, it's enough. All right. Your blade drives clean through him and sort of melts a hole through what's left of his guts. And he falls forward, nearly crushing Elaine, who manages to get out of the way just in time. Doron drives his blade through the last hound, and you are done. Silence descends once more upon the hall, with these gigantic bodies laying around you. So you take a moment to get your breath, and Caradon catches up to you from where she was examining some of the bits and pieces and runes and drawings back in the cave system.
Looks like I missed out.
It wasn't much. Just 2 legendary creatures.
Nothing to worry about.
Dripping with sarcasm.
They were sarcastic?
Aye, that they were. That was the worst weapon. Bunch of wee bastards. Well, not wee. Bunch
There
of
was a
giant
grimoire I once
bastards.
read, the Book of Connolly. He must have brought them into the world.
Aye.
William
Right.
of Connolly.
Doron, Prince of Glissum. Right, Doron leans on his sword to catch his breath, and yeah. I'll stand watch.
Becca, you can keep that sword. I never got any use out of it. You seem to be doing quite well with it.
I'm a walking arsenal.
You're gonna need a golf bag or something.
Yeah, I had a caddy. Yeah, actually, I'm this trident has piqued my interest.
It's giant size, so it's not really wieldable by you.
It looks
It
looks
could be
awesome.
melted down if it's good quality, no? Pass it on to a smith.
it looks awesome. And the net too.
Ireland.
Yeah, well, the net is also probably too big for you to use.
If only I'd strength 18.
Yes. Then the trident would be very useful if you happen to stumble across some giant toast.
Or muffins, or tea cakes, or waffles.
Right, so, now that the fight's over, the blue torches are still lit. There's this frozen pool in the centre of this gigantic six-sided room. That's about 40 metres across from side to side. There are doorways in each of the 6 directions, plus a 7th doorway where you smash through the ice to gain entrance. So, north, south, southeast, northeast, southwest, northwest.
How long have we been dredging, Grim?
How long what?
How long have we been dredging?
A long time. You really lost track.
Right. Why do we camp here for the night, guys and girls?
It's probably a good idea. It's a relatively defensible position, no?
And I'll go into meditation mode, Grim, as soon as I say that.
Do you want to make sure you've cleared the place out first so there aren't any nasty surprises?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're going to camp here, and I'm going to go into a meditation Because
Okay, but you
I've
might.
only got 1 hit point. I've got 1 hit point left. That's why I meant.
Okay.
Let's see if I have anything that might be able to help with that.
You do have healing magic.
That is true. It's been a while since we've had that luxury.
Yeah, let me just have a peek at the character sheet. It's a relatively new system for me, even though I've been gaming for many, many years. Oh, geez. This character's grown in power. Oh,
Yes.
jeez. Holy shnikes. What rank would the healing magic be under? There are 4 ranks of magic here.
Lesser healing is at level 1.
Oh, it's a level 1 rank. Yes, okay. Lesser healing, touch 2 health points. Okay.
I think you've got a
Great-
stronger healing.
Greater healing,
Great-
5
great,
meters, rank 3. So a rank 3 power costs me 3 magic points.
3
to
magic
use.
points, yeah.
Right. And how often do I recover that?
Every midnight you regain your magic points. So if you're going to rest here overnight, you'll get all your magic points back.
Okay, sure. So I'll just pop into rank 3 healing. Do I need to roll for that or just record the point?
It just happens.
Here?
Just spend the points. So I think you'll need two uses to get Cesora back where he was.
Absolutely, 2 uses it is. I will begin intoning the appropriate rituals and making the proper signs.
Yeah.
And
a-
spend an extra moment or 2 and hamana.
And a warm red glow envelops Cesora and closes his gaping chest wound. And whatever's left you can recover by meditating.
Yeah.
All right. So to clear this place out, ready for you to rest here. Where do you want to start?
12 o'clock door?
I think. Can I check out the Jotuns first?
Yeah, you can check them over.
Any personal effects not destroyed? Jewellery, items, coin.
They've got iron bangles on their wrists, but those are too huge. There might be some use as a hula hoop, but that's about it. It looks like they must store most of their treasure and so on. A lot of things are going to be too small for them to use.
So, allow me to visualize where we are at the moment.
Yeah.
In a big circle-shaped room. Hexagonal-shaped room with exits to the north.
If you imagine the hexagon, on each of its flat sides, there's an exit, and there's one extra one in the southwest, which is where you entered through, on the corner.
Okay.
Is the hexagon oriented? I'm just doing a sketch here with one of the vertices in the north position, or a flat wall?
A flat plane on the north position.
Okay. So we entered through roughly the southern
the southeastern corner, southwestern corner, southwestern corner.
Southwestern. Okay. So it might be easiest just to go to the next corner, next wall in clockwise. So the northwestern corner.
That would the southwestern, and then round. By tradition, we go left always, so that works.
Well, then I'll leave that to the rest. I'll hush.
Go to the south.
So there's a small by giant terms, hallway here, which leads into what seems like it was the Hound's kennels. There's a horrendous stink coming out of this place, despite the cold.
Oh, Cesora, what have we done?
that's numbing your nose. There's cages with dog beds in them. And
I have an idea.
Haunches of half-consumed human meat scattered over the floors.
Were I a cunning Jotun or giant, I would have treasure buried under where I'd have very vicious dogs guarding it. So right under where the kennels are, perhaps.
You're free to check if you want to get your hands dirty.
Under the in the cesspit too is a good place to hide treasure.
Oh God!
I hear people hide.
that bad.
So what, Caradon's going to check out the check out the cages and the dog
Yeah,
beds?
I'll go with her.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'd rather not be alone if I don't have to be, and having someone like Becca about is quite reassuring, I'm sure. So yes.
You go poking about. The blankets and sackcloth and so on that makes up the beds for the dogs is frozen, somewhat solid, and soaked in clearly dog urine.
Wonderful.
But you go, as you get close to one, you hear a whimpering noise coming from underneath the blankets.
Hello.
Puppy?
Yeah, I'll grab some rotting meat and try and tease it out.
Okay. You've got that gift with animals, don't you?
Yeah, animal kinship.
Yeah. Okay, slowly out from under this sackcloth eases a puppy, but it's a giant puppy. So where the hounds were as tall as a man, where the hounds were as tall as a man at the shoulder, this thing is merely the size of a St. Bernard.
Oh,
But-
fucking.
But it's a puppy with gigantic paws, big floppy ears, the whole thing. But its breath comes out in steam, and it has that same frosty, icy look as the ones that you mercilessly slaughtered.
So I've pacified it. It's not going to attack or anything. No.
No, it's a puppy. It's just
I've
a
got-
giant evil puppy. That's all.
I've got a menagerie. So
Are they known to be inherently evil and untrainable? Do any of us have any lore about them?
Well, the giants managed to train them. None of you have ever seen anything like these creatures before, so you don't know. It reaches out with its jaws and bites a hand off the human haunch that you're offering it, and sits there chewing and gnawing on it.
just for your just as backstory, John. Becca has a supernatural animal kinship gift,
Oh, wow. This is
And-
right up your alley.
and this could be a third pet. Now we've got a menagerie forming.
Oh, God.
That's okay. It's a pack animal. It would fit in quite nicely then, wouldn't it? And all of its instincts would lend
Yeah.
it to that.
But I'm not sure how it would fare in a more temperate climate, so it might actually literally melt.
Yes, okay. Well,
Well, so let's see if I can fashion a collar or a lead or something.
Doron comes in. He's cut a few lengths of rope out of the net with his sword, and ties that round its neck as a sort of loose collar / lead.
Here, look here, Prince. Look, it's there's a pup here. You know, a bit. This will be an awesome hunting dog.
I have a rank 2 spell titled or called Glissade, which allows me to create ice.
Yep.
I don't know how spell research works in this system. Would I be able to eventually work that, or maybe learn or track down a temperature altering spell that would help with the pup and other climbs? That might be. I don't know if that would be
Yeah,
efficient in terms of feeding
could-
in
you could
magic
spend-
points to keep that.
Yeah, you could spend some downtime researching it. What you'd really need to do for that, though, is you need to get to a high enough level where you can make magical items, and then you could make a collar or something that keeps it at a cool temperature.
Fantastic. Okay, so it's doable, Becca. Becca, we may be able to work something out. We'll see how things unfold.
So you're going to create like a magical snow flurry, or
A little
Maybe
cloud
if you-
constantly snowing.
yeah? Have
I
you ever
don't know.
seen Frozen?
No, I've never seen it, but the neighbors' kids sing the songs all the time.
Oh God.
I'm Elsa. Okay, sure.
Whatever.
So is this a puppy going to literally follow me around now?
Well, you fed it, and you have animal kinship. So yeah, probably.
Well, let's carry on, shall we? I'll drag it on the rope. Let's carry on.
How the fuck does it do that? Looking cute when it's gnawing on a man's bones.
We should call the puppy Geezer.
Just imagine, just imagine taking this into the hall at the castle, mate, and the whole the whole High Council are there, that would be just awesome, wouldn't it?
Aye.
They'll brick themselves, wouldn't they?
Dear right. Okay, so with the pup in tow, with Doron desperately kind of struggling to keep it under control, you carry on around clockwise and check out the next area.
To the southeast, to the southwest, right?
Northwest now. You started with the southwest, this is the northwest one. Okay, there are two gigantic beds in here, so clearly, despite being a couple, these two giants didn't get on that well. At least it's not one bed and one couch, I suppose.
So the relationship was a bit frosty then, Grim.
Yes, the relationship was a bit frosty. Very good. Anyway, there's these two giant beds covered with hoarfrost, with icicles hanging off their sides. There's various items of clothing here and there, mostly furs, patchwork, elk skin, and so on. There is a low table, which the giants probably knelt or sat cross-legged at, and on that is a gigantic mug of ice, which seems to have some kind of dark red fluid in it. There's a few coins scattered around, a thick rug that seems to be made out of 4 separate saber-toothed tiger skins stitched together.
Ooh, what's the quality on the tanning and skinning like? Is it very rough or is it professional?
Given the sheer scale of the giants, they're not good at detail work, so it's not that good, but saber-tooth skins are worth quite a bit. There's a tapestry on one wall, coarsely woven, with scenes of domestic servants going about mundane tasks. And there is a brass gong in front of it.
I don't know why I have to feel like I have to say this, but nobody drink that. So it points to the liquid.
Does it have an irony smell to it? Is it all frosty? Is it still liquid or is it ice inside?
The liquid is still liquid inside the mug.
Does it smell of blood, for example, the telltale signature of iron and whatnot?
It's hard to smell anything in the cold here, but leaning as close as you dare, there's a slight fruity smell to it.
Well, it can't hurt for me to just taste it, like just a finger drop or so, no?
It's entirely up to you.
You not just hear what I said?
I did, but I'm curious.
Sorcerers are curious by nature. There's something annoying about them.
Is there well, I guess we have a pole or something like that. Huh? If it's possible, I'll just stir the fluid around a bit to see if it's like boba tea with chunks of meat or whatever in it. Who knows?
It's slightly thicker than water. When you stir it and disturb the surface, some sort of alcoholic vapor rises up off it. And also when you sort of disturb it, a few small pip-like seeds rise to the surface and then sink again.
Ooh, someone help me fish out a couple of the seeds. Let's see if it's flammable. Perhaps we could turn this into a weapon. Just like Bacardi 151, right?
Looks like some sort of alcoholic beverage that these giants seem to have been drinking. You don't know anything about giant anatomy. Seems like a bit too much a technical time for a medieval person, but they could drink liquid fire for you, you know.
You know quite a lot about their anatomy because you cut a gigantic hole through one with a flaming sword. So
It's true.
you've seen quite a lot of their internal anatomy up close.
Fine. If you seriously want to drink it, then
Well, no, not necessarily
I
drink
can't
it.
stop you.
I'd like to examine the properties of the liquid to see if it's flammable and maybe some of the seeds.
With a bit of help, you can scoop some out. It does burn, but only with a very small, very low blue flame, and not for very long.
Okay, so it's not weaponizable.
Yeah.
Are they like a fruit seed or something? Is it like a fruity?
It's a fruit seed.
Okay.
What's your intelligence?
That is 13.
Okay, roll a d20. If it's under your intelligence, you can glean some more information.
Nope, got a 17, so can't quite make it out.
They appear to be pips of some kind.
Oh,
Read that. Shop. What it is.
the hell with their mead, whatever it is.
Right,
Oh, the dog might like it. Maybe it was given a treat or something. Let's see how the pup reacts to it. Maybe it can be a bit of an incentive for it.
Okay, you scoop some out and offer it to the pup. The pup goes slurp, like twice, maybe, and it's all gone. At least of the amount that you showed to it.
Does it show any physical signs of like a real happy dog getting a human treat or something like that, or is it just?
It sits there looking at you, dopily, because it's a puppy, and then its left eye starts to twitch slightly.
Uh-oh.
And then it starts to sway.
Uh-oh.
You just feed that dog alcohol.
the dog is drunk.
Just a dram.
Yep.
Just that.
Yep.
By the grace of God. Surrounded by idiots.
He likes it.
Do I have any empty vials, Grim?
Any empty what?
Vials.
Probably.
I'll try and see if I can pour some of this liquid into one of my vials.
Okay, the pup takes a huge amount of interest in what you're doing and keeps licking at the fluid whenever you try to get it out.
Oh dear.
Oh, fuck. Someone who control this pooch.
Doron strains against the rope with all of his weight and might and manages to pull it back a bit while you get a couple of vials full of the stuff.
Oh, thanks.
Kieran, you have any?
And if I can, I'll give. If I get any seeds, I'll give them to Carradine.
Okay. Yeah, so you got a handful of seeds.
Right, Kieran, are you taking the saber-toothed tiger hide? Roll that up and.
I'll try and roll it up and try and compact it a bit. We can throw it in with whatever else we're going to carry about, but we should perhaps maybe knock our heads together to find out the weight to coin value of whatever we're going to haul out of here, because I'm sure there's going to be more than we could ever manage to haul out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When's the last time you saw a saber-toothed tiger? It's got to be quite rare, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine the right foppish noble or a few ladies wouldn't mind. I mean, we could have them turned into collars or cloak liners or who knows what. So by weight, it might be the most valuable little bit of stuff we could haul out of here, possibly.
Yeah, I'm sure the hound is
Oh yeah, pack hound, perfect.
is worth a lot.
Yeah, the hound would be worth about, rough estimate, about 30 gold crowns to the right person, being a rare beast and ready and available for training and all. You can also use him as an extra pack mule, probably.
What about the tapestry, Grim? How much of that worth?
Probably not much. It looks a bit moth-eaten and it's not very well made.
Any ballpark figure on the saber-tooth skins?
Saber-tooth skins...
I'd imagine it'd be more expensive than a rare bit of fox hide.
Yeah, you've got four of the skins, so that's going to be worth about 20 gold crowns in total. So
And,
yeah, that's a good amount.
What would a gold crown buy in this particular setting? Would it pay?
A lot. Most things are measured in silver coins. So like a full set of plate mail armor is something like 250 silver florins, which is about 2.5 gold coins.
Mother of... Okay, yeah, the hides are in. Holy
We mostly need money to like pay for like a castle and like a
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
village.
we've got a townhouse
setting.
in Florence and a castle in Northumbria and
Yeah.
Are you serious, or you take?
no,
Yeah.
for real.
No, no.
Oh, okay.
It's,
So, yeah.
it's because like we're adventurers, but like we also want to, fund like some sort of like change. So we got we got property and whatnot.
Yeah.
But
The
it
real
costs
estate
money.
business. So do we have proper seneschals taking care of all of it while we're away?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and also we've got the heir to a minor kingdom as our
Good.
Award.
Stable
Award?
boy.
board. Yes,
Yes.
that's the word.
Yeah, that's an important detail.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I will slowly play catch up as little bits and pieces drop here and there, and yeah, I'll help pack up the skins for sure. We can wrap other valuables in it and haul it with Woofer.
Yep.
And also, Kieran, as I remember it, you also have your own personal library on a chain on your belt loop as well.
You said a personal which one? I'm sorry, I lost that word.
It's true. Personal library.
Yes, I noticed all these this grimoire here, grimoire of Mistress Edis and Apprentice Scrimkin.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've got the undead skull of an archmage on a chain on your belt loop.
Yes.
Oh my.
That speaks to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
it's-
occasion.
Zest by its spirit or something, isn't it?
Yeah. So you can consult with that skull as and when. Right. Are we moving on to the next room? Are you done in here?
Yeah. I'm
Sure.
done.
Okay. So through the northern corridor. This room seems to be a shrine to some long-forgotten deity devoted to the principles of ice and snow, no longer worshipped by anyone. An empty temple to a dead god. The only decoration in the body of the room is a frozen fountain, the water in it still arching up into the air but frozen into ice, as if just flash frozen midstream. A wall of ice covers the eastern wall. Beyond it, barely visible through the starry frost, seems to be... It looks like the tomb that Caesura raided and got his new sword from.
Does it look like the god, the actual statue was the DNTI went upwards?
It through this wall of ice. It just exactly resembles the tomb that you fought the wraith in.
Oh, with a huge anime sword that you can barely lift.
Yeah, the silver sword.
The lightsaber, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that killed you.
Yes, the one
No.
that killed him.
No, I killed it.
I got better.
Shut it.
But otherwise, there doesn't seem to be much of anything in here. Just somewhere they did their lost religious devotions.
Should make sure to burn this place when we leave.
Good batting, think man. Right, so on to the next chamber. This chamber, unlike most of the others, has an actual door, a gigantic door built for giants, and it appears to be locked.
How high up's the keyhole, Grim?
Yeah, how did we know that?
Well, because you can, while reaching up very, very high, reach the handle, but it wouldn't turn and wouldn't open. If you stood on someone's shoulders, you could reach the lock.
Who's the tallest in the party?
Probably Becca.
Right, Becca, you really hoist me up?
Is there a keyhole? Can I look
Yes, there is.
through the keyhole? Right, so I'll try to do that.
Okay, so lift Caesura up, and then Caesura can try and make a lock-picking roll.
Well, first of all, before I look
His
through
giant lock.
the lock,
Yes. Well,
before I start picking the lock, I'll look through the keyhole.
through the keyhole.
And let's use your shield, Zero Lane. Well, will hold your shield like a platform and lift him up.
Very,
Oh, yeah,
very
yeah,
asterisk.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Use your
conductor
own
as well.
shield.
Right. So through the keyhole. Who lives in a dungeon like this?
My name is Lloyd Grimstream. Today campers way through the key house. We've decided to kill John. It's over to you, David.
Inside is a triangular room, which seems to have been operating as some kind of prison. There's a bald man inside, pacing around constantly, muttering to himself.
How big is he?
Human size.
Humanoid.
What about
Right,
his
I'll
build
find-
or general mien? What does he look like he might have worked as or
He's scrawny but fairly soft looking, though it's obvious he's been starved. He still has a little bit of a pot belly. He's muttering to himself and gesturing constantly.
What language, Grim?
Ellislandic, so you could understand him if you could hear exactly what he's saying, but it just seems to be ranting gibberish to himself.
Right. Well, I'll come back down and explain what it's off the field the rest of the lab.
What's a prisoner of some sort?
Well,
Yep.
do you want me to pick the lock or pick the lock now? It's up to you guys.
Don't see why not.
Okay.
Okay. Make your
Right,
lock
back
roll.
There's no reason why we can't. Sorry.
Right, Becca. Give us a hoisty uppy.
Yeah, but can we use your shield, Sir Elaine? We can hold one side and lift him up.
Yeah. 1 second. Sorry.
Thank
I have
you.
to just.
Okay.
I was going to argue no, but you can. You can. Yeah, because I need to.
Would the rank 1 spell portal be able to work on a door this size?
Let me see.
Force or hold a door with strength 16? If we needed to open it, I'm not sure if we'd be able to pick the lock or not.
No, that probably wouldn't be enough to open it.
Okay. Old-fashioned leverage, then, if we have a crowbar and a few muscular folks using physics.
But Caesura can try and pick the lock first. So
Okay. Crack my knuckles.
crunch, crunch.
Let's get the work. Crunch, crunch. Let's get the work.
Okay, roll.
37.
Is that under your lockpick skill?
Yes, it is.
Okay. You end up having to use your dagger as the pick because the mechanism of the lock is so huge. But after a bit of tinkering around, the lock clicks open and you're able to open the door.
Right. Climb back down, say, open sesame.
Right. Take it Becca's going to take the lead since Elaine's had to go off and use the little knight's room or something. Right. The door swings open and the man inside turns and looks at you all.
Does the door swing in?
It swings outwards.
Right, so make sure this door doesn't shut. Right.
Yeah.
Who are you?
He stares right at you, then pinches himself very hard on the arm.
Oh, he must think he's hallucinating from hunger or whatnot.
I'm not asleep. They must be real. But if they're
I
real,
am
who
Becca
are they?
Akukan, Jotun Slayer.
They're dead. The things are dead. Are they? Are they dead?
They're dead, yes.
I'll start fishing about for some food for this fellow.
Yeah,
Proper food.
you got some rations and stuff on you. He sort of shambles forward and looks around the frame of the door and sees the gigantic dead bodies of the giants. Yes, dead. Must be dead. He pinches himself again.
Why are you here?
Food for the giants.
No. Why are you here?
Food for the giants. They ate the men I was with.
What's in the room, Grim?
A lot of feces, a bucket of water, the remains of some very, very scant sort of meals. That looks like he was fed human flesh as well.
He looks like he's probably quite cold, eh? Maybe we should build up a bit of a fire and warm him up and let him recover a bit and get back to his senses before we bombard him with questions. Maybe make a good show of goodwill.
Doron will take him to one side and build a fire from whatever he can find. So then,
I can light that up quite easily. You don't have to futz around, I think. And
once you finish clearing the place out, you can come back to him and interrogate him. So while he's warming up and eating something, we've got 2 other rooms to check. One of them appears to be nothing more than the horrific larder of the giants. There are hooks of ice hanging from the ceiling with frozen corpses, most of which have been partially butchered. A few of them are somewhat recognizable as human beings, which kind of makes your gorge rise a little. And scattered along the floor are the possessions of the people, though they haven't been looked after, so it's mostly rusted weapons, ice-damaged armor, things like that.
Are there any Celentines here?
No, they don't appear to be. Rummaging around the stuff, that none of this armor seems to be as old as all of that. You do find a cloak with the eclipsed moon symbol on it.
All right. So, Kerridan, so some backstory. Is it we are hunting dark witches of a heinous and blasphemous nature. You would know this. You would recognise this symbol, and perhaps tell us more about it.
Yes.
Might that infer that the prisoners were our quarry?
Quite possibly. So there seems to be some sort of underhanded cult working to undermine the Kingdom of Glissom, of which Doron is prince. The kingdom was attacked, the king was kidnapped, and a magical ember that they have that's supposed to be the sort of luck and soul of the kingdom was taken. But it seems like the steward was behind it all, and he's been involved with one of these cults. And you've run into several moon cults, none of whom have turned out to be very nice throughout the course of these adventures.
Do any of them have any distinguishing marks, for example, like an occult third nipple or a tattoo or something?
Not really. This sigil is part of it, and you know that they're associated with the element of darkness. Now, being associated with the element of darkness doesn't necessarily make you evil. There are good elementalists who use darkness, but this cult seems to be very much tangled up in that kind of magic. So the symbol that they have is this eclipsed moon sigil, which you've now found on one of the robes here.
And also, Kerridan, our current location up this mountain, right? There are no tourists, right? There's no foot traffic. There's no casual travellers. It's almost impossible to get here and survive the attempt.
So that they must have then been in the environs and either been captured or been operating here with purpose.
Yeah. So the presence of a live prisoner is highly suspicious.
Okay. Well,
but Rebecca is not that smart, but you are, so you might have worked this out.
Yeah, yeah. You'll have had some of that, all of that information.
But I mean, if the giants were kind of stretching things out, I mean, I have no idea how much a human-sized meal would be to them, right? I mean, they just.
There's more, well, from a mystical perspective, there's more life energy in an intelligent being than there is in a beast. So supernatural creatures like vampires and cannibalistic ogres and things like that will feast on human flesh and get more sustenance from it than you might otherwise think.
Who among us would be best at perhaps socializing or cozying up to this fellow in terms of possibly winning his friendship over, maybe dropping a few sly hints that we could be on one side or the other of the cult, kind of suss out his own allegiance?
Well, I think that'd be Madrock, but he's not here. But so you then, I think.
Well, there's one last chamber. Welcome back. There's one last chamber to check before you go and interrogate this poor fellow who's still warming himself up.
Okay, we'll save going through this area with a fine-tooth comb maybe for a bit later on. We'll do the next chamber, I presume.
Okay. Right. This door is locked again, so you're going to have to rely on Caesura and the shield platform to get the door open. So, if Caesura would care to make another lock-picking roll.
I'll look for the keyhole again. What does he this time?
Several coffers, like treasure chests.
How big are these coffers?
Giant size. So you really hope they're full.
It could be coffins. It could be coffins.
There's also a few giant-sized weapons hanging on the wall on hooks.
Hopefully they're smarter than ravens and it's not all shiny rocks.
Right, here goes the picklock skill. Oh, God. 22.
Oy.
Okay. You're getting a bit more used to it now. The locks are theoretically easy to pick, but they take so much more muscle to move the pins that's the tricky part. But after a bit of struggling, he managed to click it open and gain access to their treasure room.
How did the giants not carry keys? That confuses me.
You don't know.
True.
It does confuse you.
Yeah, it does.
Right, so there's a selection of giant-sized weapons sort of leaning against the walls, all of them too big for you to use, unfortunately. And there are several coffers.
Do any of them have traps?
Any of them have what, sorry?
Traps at the lock?
Do you want to use your sixth sense thing, do you?
Yeah.
Okay, make a roll.
6.
You don't get the sense that any of them have any traps, no.
Okay.
Most of them are just, great big chests with clasps that are shut but no locks. One of them looks more like it's made of ice, or at least covered in ice.
Okay. I'll walk up to that one.
Okay. Are the rest of you hanging back while the thief/assassin does his thing? Or?
The mercenary, get it right. The merc.
I'll stay on the outside of the room, just maybe a nice,
safe distance,
a moderate step away from the threshold of the door.
Okay, so you
just peeking and observing.
Yeah. So Caesura steps up to the frozen chest, and
Is there a lock?
there's no lock.
Okay. With my staff, try and lift the lid up.
Okay. The tip of your staff gets coated in ice and freezes to the rest of the box, but you manage to use that as extra leverage to pry the lid off.
Mm-hmm.
Inside is what looks like a large fist-sized diamond, but it's pure white and completely opaque.
As white as an opal.
Indeed.
Milk white.
Flawless gem.
Cool.
It's a
Oh,
snow apple.
Hmm?
It's a snow apple. I've heard about these.
Yeah, well, But we can sell that for a fortune in Pheromone. That's going to pay our bills for a year. That will.
Well, whoever wants it can have it.
Finally.
Don't all go at once. Don't all go at once. Take your time. Yeah.
Very tempted to just pick it up. I am very motivated by getting money to fund the castle.
Jim, is that the only item that's visible? Like, Carradine won't be able to see this, but is that the only item in that chest?
In that chest, that's the only item. Yeah.
Is it like on a beautiful fur, handkerchief or like a silk wrap or anything like that? Like
there's a
stowed or.
So inside the chest, there's a cube of ice upon which the gem was set.
So it looks like it's been specially placed there with some reverence or some attention paid value or fragility or so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think these Jotun types seem the sort to bewitch any treasure they're keeping.
No. Do we know any druids or any?
Do you know any?
Yeah.
No. The elementalist who's technically part of your adventuring party but hasn't been played yet is more of a desert and fire elementalist. So
I don't see any form of detect magic spell in Carradine's grimoire here.
There should be.
Detect aura works in that way.
So should I perhaps scan the area to see if there's anything magical or ensorcelled here?
Quality, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go for it.
Okay, I'll spend the 2 points and engage in the. Is it item like do I just channel energy through a wand, or is casting done in this game like typical hermetic magic with chanting and hand motions and whatnot?
Typically, it'll be a hand gesture or like a staff or a wand, some kind of incantation. But it's not hugely imposing upon your ability to do other things. So.
Okay. Then I'll make a couple of the appropriate arcane gestures and mutter a couple of words and focus on detecting auras in the area. And if anything comes up that's noteworthy, I'll share the information freely.
Okay. There are quite a few magical auras in the chests and around the gem.
Okay, so the gem, I'm feeling it is otherworldly, it is magical, it's charged in some ways, and the chests have a few items in them as well. I don't know if any of them are locked or trapped or whatnot, but there's definitely a few quality items here. With Detect Aura, can I get anything more than that? And any hint about whether it would be aligned, for example, to dark elemental magic or so on?
So the gem is aligned with water and ice magic. One of the chests is giving off more of a sort of holy aura.
Okay.
And the rest feel like more conventional magical artifacts, like could be potions or weapons or something along those lines.
Okay, I'll then identify each of those particular chests so that our opener can choose the next chest.
Oh yes, Carradine, in this world, there's all different types of enchantment. There's spiritual, divine, arcane, scientific, random. So sometimes they display as different colours on a spectrum. Depends on.
Is Cesora going to throw open the other coffers then?
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm keeping my eye on him though, because I don't like a gigantic gem being next to him.
Okay, there is a round wooden shield covered in leather with metal studs around the outside and a big metal boss in the middle, which is surrounded by a very stylized serpent in a circle biting its own tail. There's a set of leather and fur armor in an old style, a few vials which might be potions of some kind, a bunch of gold coins, a bunch of jewels, and a purple velvet bag with a drawstring.
Is that?
I don't think.
I'm not there.
The holy aura is coming off the purple bag.
Is that
I'll share that with everyone. The bag is the one with the holy aura.
Ooh.
is it a magic shield, Elaine? Cool. It's all your Christmases come at once, isn't it? This.
My eyes did open a bit. I don't think any of this is trapped. I think this is just the giant's treasure hoard.
Witchy room.
This is too precious to give up. I'm going to touch something.
The shield?
Explode in a blinding flash of light.
I touched the shield and I liked it.
Yeah, pick up the shield.
Okay, it feels practically weightless. You can move it with amazing, blinding speed. It's definitely a magical shield.
What, and it looks. Does it look kill? For your description, is that?
It looks like a standard sort of Viking round shield.
Seems safe.
I look at the mixed armor, Jim.
Yeah.
The armor, it's in game terms, it's +1 hard leather armor.
You come across one trapped treasure hoard, and you're paranoid about treasure for the rest of the game.
At least there's no mimics.
If I can bring up a tangent, years ago I had a group of players, old pals from Kitchener-Waterloo, and all through the session, time after, I'll check the door for trap. They found nothing trapped. The one door in the whole bloody dungeon that was trapped is the one they decided not to check.
That's always the way.
Yes.
So this armor, it's an upgrade for you, Garridan. Sorry, Zizora, but you have to lose the dragon skin.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like, what would that take my armor back up if I was to wear it? Because I'm currently at 2.
I think it'll take you to 3.
3.
Who would need it more? Me or Kerrigan? Kerrigan.
Kerrigan can't wear leather armor, I don't think. Not without suffering penalties to magic.
All right.
What about the sack?
The holy, it's like a Crown Royal bag, maybe. A nice purple Crown Royal bag.
Yeah, our priest isn't here either. Is he?
No.
A monk.
The holy fiery water of communion. 2 fingers at a time. Literally the water of life, eh? Maybe it's good whiskey. Who knows?
I should protect myself with the silver and the gold. I'll start to filling pouches. Yeah, start filling pouches.
Okay, so apart from the bag, you're pretty sure of what everything is now. So who's going to check out the bag?
It says my character's wearing Roman leather armor. Would that have affected my spellcasting?
That won't. That's okay. Yeah, you're all right with that.
Okay.
Because that was special.
Yeah, I'll check the pouch out. Do like a prayer, like Sono Sancte, whatever, and try and see what's inside.
Okay. You open the bag, and a sweet smell like incense comes out of it. And then empty it out, and a perfectly preserved severed hand drops out into your hand when you shake the bag.
Ugh.
It's wearing a signet ring with the cross of the True Faith on it. And it's completely preserved. It feels warm to the touch, like it's still alive.
Oh, it's thing.
It must be some
Yeah,
sort of...
yeah, yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Creepy ass Crawley.
Enough. Right, so it's severed about an inch below the wrist, with a clean cut. You can see the broken part of the bone, and while the stump is moist, it's not bleeding.
So it's been well preserved.
Must be some sort of holy artifact.
Yes, I would imagine
Well,
it's
the hand-
quite
the hand on the ring.
monastery or abbot.
I'll put it back in the pouch and put it in my backpack.
Okay.
That might be worth far more than any coin value, because that could be used to trade for something significant with the church.
I really wanted to take the ring off, but like my character is like a crusader, like religious guy, so like no.
Yeah.
This needs to be given to a priest.
Keep blasphemy to a minimum.
Mm.
All right, so that's everywhere checked out. So you can then make your camp for the night and interrogate this prisoner, who has gone through like 2 sets of rations, and is huddled close to the fire.
I'll start up a soup for everyone, and hopefully with a little more hot food into him, he'll open up a bit.
Okay, then. Did you get? Can you ID those vials?
Certainly, I'll have a look at it.
Yes.
I'll pour over them.
With a bit of study, you can. A potion of healing and a love filter.
I'll give Doran a quizzical eyebrow.
You know it's going.
What? I don't need one of them to get me a lassie. Just
No, it's
hitch
not
up
for you,
my
Doran.
kilt and they come
It's not for
running.
you. It's not for you, Dawn. It's for Becca, for you. Yep.
He's a bad boy. Dirty deeds done with sheep.
Oh God.
Of course.
Well, this is an impressive haul, isn't it? Here, this is a.
It sounds like it. I mean, the saber-toothed tiger skins alone, it's a few suits of bloody plate armor there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, but mind you, it's. Do we have a laboratory at Pheromone?
At Pheromone, you have a lab, yeah.
I thought
Yeah, yeah, it cost about 300 crowns for your laboratory, Keridan. That's expensive.
Per year, per month, per season?
Just to fit it out.
Oh, just to fit it out, and we haven't fitted it out yet.
No, it's bought and paid for. You've got it already. You
Okay.
guys had more money than you knew what to do with, so.
And is there an ongoing maintenance cost? Is that what the 300 is,
That-
or it's already been paid for? You said it's paid for, yeah.
There is maintenance cost in terms of servants and so on, but that's
Okay.
I handle all that. So
Okay, so yeah, things obviously then are massively expensive is the point trying to be made to me, which I finally just glommed onto.
some things.
Yes.
Oh yeah, especially health potions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Health potions are ridiculously expensive in this, right?
I
this
mean,
game.
if I can heal people with magic, I could make the potions, and I mean, we could just retire the characters and go into the potion.
It takes a very long time to make a potion,
Okay,
which is why they're so hideously expensive.
that makes perfect sense. I like that a lot better than any other D20 based system, that's for sure.
We did spend a ton of our money on health potions, which we have mostly all drunk. Now, before we went on this adventure, we bought like spent like I can't remember how much it was.
A
like
lot of money.
few thousand crowns on health potions.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of barter of odd bits and
Yeah,
pieces and reagents you'd picked up over your adventures.
I traded a magic sword as well, which and magic weapons are like really expensive as well.
Yes, I think the big difference here in this world is that there just is not a trade in magical items. You have to find them or make them.
Well, that sounds
you just can't
perfectly
buy them.
reasonable. I mean, I'm quite a fan of a more mature version of any kind of fantasy setting, in that regard, rather than the McDonald's version of the game, which is popular now. So that makes perfect sense.
Magic dagger with every
Yay.
every Happy Meal. Yeah.
You're fit in here.
Yeah, but I think what rank are you carried in? Are you fourth rank?
Fourth, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, fourth rank is the what are character levels capped at in this game? 10, 20?
Well, 10's kind of what they sort of aim for as the upper end.
So it's kind of like first edition AD&D, where, as far as I know, like I heard a rumor that they really only intended characters to go up to about 9 or 10, but then they thought, well, shit, we got nowhere for these other characters to go, and they just went, okay, 500,000 every level hereafter, right?
Yeah. Progression's a bit slower in Dragon Warriors, and even higher level characters can have a bad day and have everything go horribly wrong for them. So
that sounds as it should be. I mean, I'd imagine a level a decade even would be even fast.
Okay.
So, sorry, Jim. Carry on.
Yeah, I was just to say. So yeah, you can all bed down. You can all heal a point of health overnight, but you do still have this prisoner to interrogate.
Before going overnight, would I be able to use the skull to consult? It says a yes/no answer. So if I were to posit a question, for example, like, can we trust this former prisoner? Once we learn his name, we don't even know the fellow's name yet. But would that be the kind of yes/no question I could use?
It's the spell that does the yes/no questions. The skull can actually engage in conversation.
Oh, so does the skull have any abilities of its own, or I just
yes?
Hey, skull, what's this weird flower we found? You know anything about it, like that kind of thing?
Yeah, she has information of her own, so her own intelligence and psychic talent. She just can't cast any spells because she's a skull.
It's basically just a person in
It was
the skull.
Mistress Edas who wrote the grimoire that you have.
Right. Okay. And do they have passive senses where they can see and hear all of this, or do they ever pipe up on their own, or is it purely a consultory item?
She occasionally pipes up on her own, but prompting never goes amiss.
So, like, treat it more like an NPC, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it's absolutely
Yeah.
okay. So what was I looking at with this? Consult the skull. Where is it? Under the equipment there, Skull of Edas. Demonic Storm Collar Staff. Oh my. Dragon Breath. Weekend. Oracle. Ask 3 yes/no questions. Okay.
That's the spell. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess over the course of the evening before we bed down, does the prisoner engage in any small talk with us? I mean, do you want to role play out every little nuance of that, or can we?
Well, I just need to know what you're trying to get out of him. Really.
Well, if no one else wants to take the lead, I'll simply, once the soup is ready, hand him a bowl of soup and sit down beside him and eat my own. And well, you must get a sense, since you're not murdered yet, that we're not here to murder you. So why don't we properly introduce ourselves?
He reaches out and pokes you with one bony finger to check that you're real.
I am indeed real. I can't imagine you thinking perhaps you're still lying in a cell in a fever dream, wrapped up in a blanket, shivering. But we're real.
Good. Real is
My
good.
name is Carradine, and these are my friends and travel partners, and then I'll just whoever's nearest to me, I'll just extend my hand out very clearly, inviting them to introduce themselves.
I am Tabian of Glissom.
Tabian of Grissom. Do I have any idea where Grissom is?
Glissom is the place that Doron is prince of, the place that was raided that you're trying to help out.
And is Dorian among us here? He's our
He's
ward.
the NPC prince who's with you.
So I'll just try and catch his eye, his body language, to see like if he might recognize this fellow, or if he wants to send me any kind of subtle body language, like don't cutting the neck, like don't trust him, or thumbs, anything.
He gives a slight shrug.
Okay. Then I guess I'll indicate Elaine next. It is Elaine, yes, not Alan, but Elaine. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a lane.
This good sir, Elaine.
Mm-hmm. A knight from the south. Yes.
Indeed. I fought in the Crusades.
Yes. Didn't we all?
You fought in overseas, did you?
I was an advisor, a tactician.
Then you are a good man.
He smiles slightly at that.
Is there a common treatise of tactics that, for example, we study recovered ancient Greek and like along with magic scrolls, I would imagine I might have access to the equivalent of an old text on warfare or so on.
Yeah, the ancient Salentine Empire was kind of like the Romans, and that's still hugely influential.
Okay, I have a language listed here, Bacile, so that might fit in. Yes, okay. So if this person really was a tactician or so on, they would be knowledgeable about certain famous, scholar generals, for example, that may have left treatises behind that are standard reading, right?
Yeah.
Would I have any knowledge of those, or am I kind of overreaching as a player in that?
I mean, you know Bacile, but the kinds of books that you're talking about are more the purview of the church.
Okay.
It's not a huge overreach because, these are important key texts. So roll under your intelligence on a d20 to see whether you know enough to test him.
An 8.
Okay. Yeah. You know enough to drop a few terms and things that should show him up.
Then, as his attention is divided, and in the next few minutes, as he meets Becca and anyone else, as we slowly ease him up and out, every so often I'll just try and, if I hear them talk about, a weapon or a sword or so on, that reminds me of a certain passage and I'll purposefully mix up the name of two authors to see if he can correct me. I'll just try and catch him out to see if he's genuinely a tactician or not, or if that's just a cover.
He doesn't notice the mistake, but the way he's talking about tactics and so on. He's mostly talking about the application of magic in warfare rather than troop movements and so on.
So I would have more knowledge in that wheelhouse, I would presume. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've got an idea. I'll just playfully toy with the puppy just as a distraction.
Okay. He doesn't seem to like the puppy. He keeps wincing away from it.
Yeah, that's perfectly natural given his circumstances.
Also, Kerridan, as something else you would know is that there was a lost legion of Salentines that came this way a few hundred years ago. Then we found loads of dead bodies and relics and artifacts.
And this is recent in time, like they would have been in living memory, or do you mean like this is an ancient story that they were lost up here and we're on their trail?
Yeah, the latter. Yeah,
one.
Yeah, the latter.
So, and there'd be no way for this fellow to be alive that many. It's centuries ago, decades ago, or years ago.
Centuries.
So there'd be no way for this fellow to be tied in with him. Does he
No.
have any accent that might be identifiable in that manner for someone maybe magically long lived?
He has he speaks Alislandic with a soft Glissom accent. So from that, you would guess that he's somewhat cultured. Glissom's kind of the equivalent of northern Scotland.
Mhm.
So people who talk like Doron are more typical of the common folk. And even though Doron is an aristocrat, he talks like the commoners. Whereas this guy talks like an educated man of the court, or possibly a merchant, something like that.
Or someone like that who would very easily be able to, run into an old demonic cult book and then fully adopt it in the mad pursuit of power.
Yeah, that too.
And that too. Okay. Okay.
I mean, what I meant to carry on was that we've been here for 2 days, and we found a lot, nearly 100 dead Roman corpses, haven't we, in various states of disrepair.
Mm-hmm.
If he's been here at all, he would have come across these. So that could be one line of questioning.
Okay, so perhaps while he's distracted with a couple of our characters, we're muttering to each other under our breath, and maybe we can both talk a little bit about what we found out there and drop a few kind of fishing hints to see if he can comment about it, or maybe we'll ask him what how many he ran across or so on. Since I wasn't there for any of that, perhaps you can take over and take the lead on that, but I'll be listening and looking for any obvious contradictions or any gotchas.
So he doesn't really show any sign of recognition when you talk about these things. He just stares into the fire.
So he could be deeply traumatized. That could be the answer to that as well. I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm going to hush and just watch and listen.
So how long have you actually been up here?
What? How long? Since when?
How long have you been under the guardianship of these two giants? How long have you been up here?
Well, just in the giant's place. Not a huge amount.
No,
of
in
time.
general. How long have you been up here?
Are you asking? You're asking him how long he's been here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't been able to see the sky. I don't know how many days or nights.
So who did you come up here with?
I was with a group. We were looking for a way north to see if the legends were true, to see if there were people here we could trade with, a pass through the mountains.
And how long ago was that?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been able to see the sky. I slept 100 times before I stopped counting.
Tavian, pardon me a moment. What is the last year you remember it being?
He gives you this year.
Okay.
So
within the last year or so.
Just
And how
seems to
many-
be a traveller who was captured by these things.
And
Looking
how
to
many was in?
interrogate him.
One sec. And how many was in your group, Tavian? How many was in your group?
We had an elementalist to protect us from the wind and the snow and the cold of the mountains. Barbarians from the east who knew their way through cold and ice.
Reindeer riders?
No. There were 6 of us, and mules. We led the mules.
And I assume we have already found of what remained of them in those kennels.
How did you get the mules up the mountain face?
Hmm?
How did you get the mules up the mountain face?
There are places where it's not as steep.
Okay.
Did you have guides to help you find these paths?
We had some old stories, but nobody really knows these mountains anymore. So we were trying to find a way.
That makes sense.
And funded your expedition.
The guide, the elementalist who helped us, it was his
And
idea. He wanted
where
to
was
make
he?
a pilgrimage to Nim.
And where was he from?
I don't know. He was a strange man.
Is he among the fallen, or did he escape somehow?
So
Any
far
idea?
as I know, he's amongst the fallen.
But why did the giants eat you?
They were full.
Also, yeah, but why are you so special? Because the thing about giants is if they wanted to, they could have eaten you along with your compatriots. But there's also got to be a good reason why they killed you.
I don't know. Maybe
The
I
last
don't
one-
taste good.
The last one to die in a group always thinks that they must have some special property. I can assure you they do not. It is simply luck.
Well, the lock
Please
the door.
stop
The floor-
interrogating this man. He's been through enough.
Where
Why, Jonah interrogating? I'm sorry, Jonah interrogating.
are you returning to civilization?
We're returning to civilization once we have ventured north to return the flame of that city that I can't remember because I'm bad with names.
Listen,
The capital of Glissom, whose name also escapes me.
The capital.
Yes.
Is Glissom, yeah. Glissom City.
yeah, Glasgow,
Yeah.
yeah.
To return the flame of Grissom and hopefully, the king.
Octavian, if we kit you out properly and whatnot, I'd imagine you'd be safest accompanying us before we head back to civilization.
I don't know if I would be much use to you, but
You could hold up here, and maybe we pick you up on the way back.
Yeah, so what are your skills? What role did you feel in this expedition?
I plotted the map. I kept
Okay.
track of where we were, the dead ends, the passes, made note of what little there was that was recognizable. So I'm afraid I'm little use as anything other than a scribe.
What do you remember any routes or
The giants destroyed everything I had. I might remember something on the road, perhaps.
Well, why don't we let you get a good night's sleep then? You must be exhausted thoroughly.
Yes, thank you.
This will give the rest of just as an aside to the play, this will give the rest of us a chance to butt heads while he's knocked out.
Yeah.
Start snoring happily. We can have a little whisper fest, I guess.
Yeah, he zonks out under some spare blankets, and yeah, you soon hear him snoring.
Do you think he's with the cult?
If he is, we'll find out in due time. But it's also equally likely that he's telling the truth. And,
Yes, I'm 50-50. I don't know what he might.
In which case, we have the moral obligation to protect him.
He could be talking half truths and half lies.
This is true. I mean, we just have to put ourselves in his position. I mean, he doesn't necessarily have any reason to trust us, so we're definitely in a superior position given that we outnumber him and we are much healthier and stronger, obviously, and would be able to physically outmatch him. At least that should be the case given his appearance.
and also he's not too keen on the puppy, so that'll keep him. If I keep the puppy close to him, that'll keep him on edge, won't it?
Yeah, and he'll be distracted by that rather than he won't like it should be able to throw him off if he's planning or plotting anything while he's keeping his eyes peeled on that. Okay.
You want me to take my thoughts, guys?
You have to have a watch this. Yeah, I mean, for me, Becca, there's no plausible reason for him to be here. Really, the route we came was almost impassable. There was no other known route, was there?
No.
Yes, but he did mention he had some sources of lore and whatnot that have since been destroyed. That again, that could be true, could be not. If it's true, there's obviously then another way which might help us get home much more quickly. So Jeez. Maybe we should look about for that elementalist gear. Maybe he has some notes he made of this fellow's notes, right? That was the leader. If that fellow has any of his own material there, he would have re-recorded any pertinent information that Tavian gave him in some of his own logbooks or so on, if any of them survived.
Yeah, perhaps if you research the treasure room in this light, there may be some papers that we've missed because they weren't shiny.
We have enough food and water. I mean, I can help supply us with a little bit of extra food. So as long as we have a source of heat, things that we can burn, we can stay here an extra day or two, no? Are we on a tight schedule?
We're on a little bit of a schedule.
Aye, we shouldn't wait too long. It's good to rest before we press on to the temple, but I didn't want to wait too long.
Yeah. The whole thing I said about we're seeking after the flame that was stolen. A really important flame was stolen from the capital of Glissom, and also the king, who may or may not be dead. We don't know. So we are kind of like pressed for time.
Okay, then as long as rather than a full afternoon of searching, I'll just do what I can in 10 minutes when the time's appropriate.
The giants don't appear to have been big readers. There aren't any papers or notes or books or diaries or anything in the treasure room.
I was just saying, you have more luck checking the kennels.
Yeah, I was thinking, where would they put some of their detritus then, and rather than not necessarily in the sewage pit, because if the sewage pit drains away, or you don't want to have to, carry it and muck it out as much, you wouldn't want to weight it down with trash, right? Yeah. So they might have a midden somewhere where they put things that are just truly garbage to them.
Probably just hole them down the mountain, to be honest. There's a few old horse blankets and things in the kennels, but no papers.
Okay.
Okay, so when you bed down, who's taking which watch?
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Perhaps I should take last so I can get some uninterrupted sleep.
Yeah, and Doron can take one of the watches. Right. What is Elaine's perception?
My perception is 8.
8. Okay. 1 second. Sorry, I got to look something up. It didn't give me all the stats I needed.
Geraldine, one of the things that we found was a Legionnaire's baton.
Okay.
Which you have, which can be used to command people. Like, it has to be triggered with magic points.
Yeah, I think you. No, I think the warlock has it actually.
Yeah, I have a demonic stormcaller staff and something called a Hydon, which summons a water elemental.
Yeah, Hydon is sort of an alchemically purified, sort of platonic form of water.
Okay.
So you smash the vessel and a water elemental is summoned. Right, so sorry, what was Elaine's perception?
8.
Yes.
Okay, can you roll a d20 and get 8 or under, please?
You are right. I see here on the mule, Legion Baton can enslave for only 3 MP.
So that's the spell that's... Yeah, so basically it reduces the cost of the spell.
Just you can use that to cajole and command people.
I got a 9.
So a fail. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunate. So close.
Oh, cast enslave. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Not can, but cast. I misread that. Enslave sounds like a pretty morally egregious spell, however, no? Is it more like a charm person, or...?
I think it's worse than that. I can't remember offhand. I need to...
Okay, I'll ask later on when you're listing the empire for...
That's fine.
I'm going to take a small break to go to the loo. I'll be back.
Okay. That gives me a little bit less pressure to find what I need. God damn it, where's the stats? Aha.
Never heard an American refer to the toilet as the loo.
He's Canadian.
Canadian, haha. I like how you're rolling. It's kind of scaring me a bit.
Okay. So Elaine's on watch. Everyone else is asleep. They're kind of feeding the fire a few bits of wood and so on to keep it going. You completely fail to notice Tabian slinking off back to his cell. Then you fail to notice Tabian creeping back out of his cell with a dagger which he had concealed there. And you only realise something is up when Tabian plunges his dagger into Doron's chest, and Doron screams in pain. So the others won't be able to do anything for a turn because they're waking up. But what do you want to do?
Run straight into him, grab him by the neck, and
Okay.
tackle him to the ground.
Okay. His defense is 6. Take that away from your attack and roll.
I hit.
Okay. Hand to hand is D3, I think, unarmed attacks. Let me just see if I can find it quick. You don't have the extra unarmed ability, do you?
No.
Don't think. It would have been a specialist skill.
Is it D3 2 to punch?
Yeah, unarmed combat. D3, well, he's not wearing any armor, and then D4 damage. With the ill behavior. Back once again with the Renegade Master.
3. Awake!
Right. So he's driving this dagger over and again into Doron's chest, and you come barreling in from the side and knock him off Doron, who's now swearing and trying to sort of press his hand against his wounds. Everyone else is stirred to wakefulness by the screams and sounds of combat. Right. So.
Don't kill him! Don't kill him! I want to talk to him first. The weasel.
Right.
Tend to Doron!
So
Hold him!
New turn. Cesora, you're awakened by shouting and screaming.
With the elven rope I have, make a lasso and rope the weasel.
You can fashion the lasso, and then you can use it next turn.
Yep.
So you just grab a loop, wrap it around, tie it, with the sleep dust still in your eyes. Elaine, yeah, you've barreled into this guy and knocked him over.
I'll put... Oh no. I'll put my forearm onto his neck to hold him on the floor.
Yeah. Choke him out.
No.
No?
I'll hold him. Hold him on the ground.
So you're just trying to hold him down?
Yes.
Okay. Right. You don't need to roll anything then for the moment.
Still sort of like yelling, like, someone seize a Doran, quickly!
Properly stolen.
He twists around in your grip, not so much trying to get free, but he throws up a hand and says something in some evil-sounding language, and a bolt of shadow flies from his hand to strike towards Doran. The blast hits him and ricochets off his armor as he sort of rolls over and tries to get up. Becca's go.
Right, I'm up. I'll just rush him as I am, unarmed, unarmoured.
Yeah.
Just gonna wrestle him to the ground.
Help Elaine hold him down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elaine's got him sort of around the top of the body, around the neck. How are you going to hold him?
I think I just give him a kick to the gonads first.
Take the fight out of him.
Yeah, see how that feels.
Okay. He's got no defense left, so just don't roll a 20.
19.
Okay. And do you have any extra hand-to-hand damage or anything?
No.
Okay, so no armor, so D4 damage.
2.
2. Okay. You land him a good solid blow, squaw in the nuts. He makes a loud oof noise, and his incantations go up an octave.
Oh, is the Duran bleeding?
Doran is bleeding. He's been stabbed a couple of times.
He's been stabbed multiple
right.
times.
Yeah, the sorcerer's still asleep.
Yeah.
Is Caradon... Are you there, John?
Yeah, I just sat back down. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So
I heard someone got
you've just been-
stabbed?
Oh, sorry. Grim said be the DM.
Well, no, you can give him the recap if you want. It's fine. ahead.
You've just been stirred awake suddenly from your sleep. We're all yelling and shouting whilst trying to hold down the guy who was trapped in the cell that we just freed, and Doran is like bleeding profusely from his chest whilst I'm yelling, "Somebody see to Doran!"
I'll help him. I'll help him. And if I need to heal him, I will begin frantically casting this spell. I guess greater healing, was it? Let me check my sheet.
Yep. So it's not quite your turn yet. But,
Okay,
yeah.
then when it's my turn to act,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
So Doran's pushing himself back along the floor, sort of pressing his hand to his wounds, trying to move back away from Tadian. The puppy is running in circles, barking at everything. And so, Caradon, you bring forth your incantations, gesture towards Doran, and heal his wounds as best you can.
Okay, greater healing 7 HP for
Yeah.
one go.
Mark the magic points off because this is now the morning.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, new turn. Cesora, you now have a lasso of the elven rope. What do you want to do?
Lasso this son of a...
Okay, well he's held down, so yeah, you can get the rope round him easy and cocoon him in elf rope. Right, so he's not going anywhere, and he can't raise his hands to finish his incantations.
I'll tie him. I'll hold tie him.
Yep. Kinky.
Indeed.
Yes, he starts shrieking his safe word. Okay, right. Yeah, you've got him bound up and helpless. There's nothing more he can do. He's just twisting in the bonds and swearing and cursing.
I'll gag him. I'll pat his head. Be a good little boy and shut up.
Oh, there's my hellhound puppy there.
Here he is in my arms. Yes.
Hey, puppy. Cute. Right. So, you've subdued him. You've got him. Now what?
Explain yourself. Take this out of his mouth. Pour it out.
I go for the guy.
Point my sword onto his, just under his neck.
Yeah. Okay. He tries to twist his head away from it, but he's still spitting curses.
Explain yourself.
What is there to explain? Doran must die. Kilndead and the cult must take control of Glissom. That decrepit old fool had to go.
Who is your master?
My master is Balor of the Evil Eye.
Who is your lieutenant?
Kilndead. He'll bring glory again to Glissom. The armies of the Fomor will rise again from the ice of the north and sweep down across Albion.
Did you hear that? Condemned by his own lips. There. Did you all hear that?
Oh, yes, indeed. Have at him. He's a piece of shit.
He's a heretic.
Hold your sword.
Wait.
Put the gag on him again.
Prince.
Aye.
Prince, what is your judgment?
Well, we still have to press on to the temple. And we still have to put pay to their schemes and plots. Seems like something went wrong for your man here. But not wrong enough. Still, if he'll confess, under torture or nay, he adds to our case, along with the papers. But how do we keep him alive till then?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Keep him hogtied and let Puppy look after him. Yeah.
Probably eat the scunner. No great loss, to be honest.
It's Kerrigan, do you have pen and ink? I'm not sure.
Yes, indeed. What should I note down?
All I'm impressed we could have a witnessed and signed testimony in writing. How about that?
Aye.
Certainly.
And if it comes to it, he can do without food and water for a day or two till we take him back.
I think
Put him
we should
inside.
make a rather stout cord and maybe tie off his willy so he can't urinate.
Aye.
Soft torture.
Better.
But yes, you can take down his confession, make him sign it. He will do that eventually.
He'll be fit to bursting. He'll spill everything.
Then Doron's probably right in that if you leave him sufficiently tied up, even without food and water, you can collect him on the way back.
What I was going to say is the paper.
Oh.
Could your ego take him back to the village? And the village can look after him until we come back.
Yeah, we can put him back in the cell, can we?
Yeah,
Leave him
That's
in
what I
there.
was thinking.
Oh,
Put him back
fantastic
in
idea. The simplest solution.
only maybe because you're actually good people, give him some genuine food and water
Yeah.
rather than corpses to eat.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking.
Okay.
I'm going to say.
That sounds like a plan, and then you're free to move on to the Temple of Balor. I don't really want to continue any more tonight because the Temple of Balor is a rather involved dungeon. So if we pick that up on Saturday is probably the best way to go. Is that all right with everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you able to come again on Saturday, John?
Yes, I can. I can make it on Saturday.
Awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah, best way to meet you, John. Yeah, a good game.
Yeah.
Yes, I had fun. I remember only, other than Jim, I remember only two folks playing Becca and Alain. I didn't meet what for me is a third person. I'm the other person's third person. The fellow. Are you from Glasgow? You said earlier, or are you just using the name Glasgow? All right. There we go. Hello. In real life, are we using real life name? Like, I don't care if anyone watching knows my real. My name's John. Jim's there, obviously. Should I just refer to you guys with your character names? No real names.
During play, we usually use character names. Otherwise,
Character
we just
names,
I don't know. It's a bit weird because people know each other through the internet, so you know people's
Yes.
screen names
Yeah.
and so on.
Screen names.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm gonna wrap up the stream and stop there, but the room will stay open if you guys wanna chat and catch up or whatever. Right, thanks for watching, everyone. See you Saturday, same sort of time, 7:30 p.m. UK summertime. And
I'll be
we'll
on
see.
time. I mixed up my times.
Yes, get them right this time. All right, see you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See ya. Goodbye.